Hello everyone, this is Dr. Terry Cooper, and I am here at Superior Health Solutions, right?
Again.
Again, one more time. I'm actually on a real vacation this time, but I came out to hang out with Dr. DiMartino and his staff so they could teach us even more about these new technologies that we're bringing to Cedar Rapids, to the Midwest. And I wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak,
That's okay.
about what the microcurrent technology is. We've already chatted a little bit about bringing the technology, also about the ion cleanse. We'll obviously can chat about the pulsed electromagnetic frequency as well, but this particularly we want to talk about microcurrent.
Yeah.
And what is microcurrent? Why is it so special? Why is this kind of your thing? I mean, it really has changed the way you practice.
Yeah, and change the patient's results, which is really the biggest thing for me. So, ion cleanse, great tool, going to be helpful for everybody. Pulse electromagnetic tool, great things. It's going to help every single person. It's literally no different than charging your cell phone.
Right, because it's putting energy
into your system, your body adores it, it's going to work great. And those are awesome technologies, and they all work together, and they all do different things.
When you also found that you needed those technologies along with the microcurrent.
Because you need this buildup. We're all, losing more energy than we make. We're living in this energetic debt. That's why we see this explosion of disease process going on right now. So now we need to get energy back into the system. So those guys are really just flooding the body full of energy. It's like dumping money into somebody's bank account saying, hey, get yourself even.
Yeah, putting gas in your car.
Yeah, get yourself even, pay off all your debts, get yourself back to neutral, put a little bit on the side so you got a safety net. That's really what the body needs and where it works best. But what the microcurrent really allows us to do is I think the thing that's like the best kept secret in healthcare is it allows us to really target that healing in a very specific way, a very specific thing, so we can have this happen. And what we absolutely know with microcurrent is that it will increase cellular energy by 300 to 500% per session and lower inflammation at the same time by 30 to 60% in one session, which doesn't even really exist in medication. Like Toradol, which is the big medication that they'll inject into people, has a host of side effects, but that's what they'll use. Toradol does it at about 30%.
Really?
Yeah.
And it works great. I told you that my mom that one time when she had it, I was like, oh my God, that drug is amazing.
It's like anything. There's a time and a place for place for everything. But you can't be on Toradol forever.
Exactly.
It starts creating memory issues, all kinds of side effects. But when you get hit by a bus, you go into the hospital. It's a nice thing to have.
But seriously, 30% was that, and I saw the results of that.
Sure.
And this 300 to 500% on inflammation.
Yeah, 300-500% on an increase in energy, and then a 60% reduction in inflammation really quickly. I mean, to the point that when I first saw the numbers, I didn't believe them.
Okay.
Because it just in science and on lab work, I mean, you just didn't see those kind of changes with anything else. That's why I got so heavily on board. It allows us to do so many things. We can create balance in the system. We can help with detoxification. But just targeting different things and dumping that kind of energy in, I mean, just as massive changes for people.
That's amazing. So tell me, what do you target? I mean, do you have specific, you probably have your 10 main things.
Yeah, so what makes microcurrent so unique is that it's what we call frequency specific. Now, not all machines are frequency specific. There's only one or two out there that actually are. The ones that we back are. What frequency specific basically means is, and this gets a little bit out there, right? So it's no different than if you've ever seen in a movie where someone will scream and the glass breaks. Okay, so I can scream, nothing happens. You maybe scream, nothing happens, and somebody else screams at that pitch and then that glass shatters. The frequency of that voice matched the frequency of that glass, and that's why you get this change. So there's different frequencies all throughout the body. Different organs have different frequencies. And this is well known, pretty well accepted at this point, and very well mapped out. So by using these different frequencies and/or frequency patterns, we're able to target a little bit more specifically than if we're just putting something in and just generally hitting everything. We're able to say, look, we want to focus on kidney, or we want to focus on liver, or we want to focus on inflammation, or we want to focus on the immune system. There's different ways for us to be able to do that, but it has to be frequency specific. So you're talking a million possible frequency combinations, which is great, but that's what has taken so much time and so much effort to go into. But the devil does lie in the details. When you get that exactly right, you start seeing some pretty cool things happening for people.
And you've been using this now for
7-8 years.
Yeah, and seeing
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Amazing
our
changes.
yeah, we have units multiple units that run all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I'm still not surprised about. I still get surprised rather about the stuff that we see change, and it's fun because patients like, how did you do that? You know, it's like, well, it's just matching frequencies, and it's the same reason. Like again, when you go outside, there's no danger to it. That's the beautiful part. Because
Right.
okay, so I go outside, I want to get in my car. I got my car alarm right. I hit the button to unlock my car. Not every car unlocks in the parking lot, right? Only my car, because the frequency that I'm using there is matching the frequency of my alarm. So say you guess wrong, or say you try a different frequency. So well, is this going to? No, nothing happens because the frequency doesn't match. Like if I go up to a different car and I start hitting my button, you know, the car doesn't open. Only my car reacts. So there is no harm possible. It is just an increase in energy when you start hitting it right.
And I know when you hit it right, you know.
Feel it. Yeah, it's a euphoric kind of like endorphin release high, and the person knows at the moment it hits. I mean, I've watched patients be in the middle of a conversation and you change the frequencies and they just stop talking.
Right.
And they're like, "Woo, that's a good one," and it feels good. It's a good feeling, but you know it when it lands right.
Because you're doing different frequencies, because the pattern, it lasts about a half hour,
Yeah.
about 30 minutes,
Yeah,
and
treatment time.
you have put together. I mean, this is your
Thing.
brain.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love talking to you. But every couple minutes, it'll change a patterning, and as it changes that pattern, that's why you might feel in and out of that
Right.
euphoric kind of feeling, because you might be hitting that specific
Sure,
frequency.
and we want to change them, so we want to, you know, again, get through as many frequencies as we possibly can, and some have to run longer and some have to run shorter, but that's really what our whole practice has been about, you know, the experimenting, trying different things, you know, experimenting, see what works best, and you know, over the course of time, then you start finding these patterns that, you know, this is a slam dunk for this,
Yeah.
this is a slam dunk for that, you know. For people who have bowel bladder function, I mean, 2-3 visits, and that would be pretty well normalized in our world typically at this point. So it's a huge thing to have on your side. That kind of tool to have to help people, it almost tips the scales unfairly in our
Right.
in our way.
I'll use it any way I can. I know the concussion protocol is very powerful.
Super powerful.
And we see so much concussion.
And you know, and it's great. Like National Healthcare has gotten a lot of publicity about the great things it can do for people who have actual concussions. And applying this therapy with it just expedites the process. I mean, how much faster can we get results in doing quantum neurology and all these other different kind of neurological things? This just really expedites the process. And most of us are walking around, the body gets concussed a lot. You know, it can be emotional, and it doesn't have to be to the head. You could bash your knee and that will still send a concussive force through your whole body, and if that sits in there, it could be an emotional concussion.
Sure.
If that sits in there, it locks your system up, and your brain operates on what we'll affectionately call safe mode. It's constantly in fear of something, you know. So why does everyone have so much tension here, right? Oh, I went to my massage therapist and they said that I'm the tightest person they've ever felt there. That's what my massage therapist tells me. It's because when we're walking around in that mode.
Yeah. Won't it be fun to be able to make these changes for so many people? I know we'll be using this. We did an interview not long ago on the thyroid.
Yeah.
I know you used a lot with Hashimoto's.
Getting Hashimoto's. We're going to present our case study at Microcurrent this year on that.
That's exciting, and great results with Hashimoto's.
Oh, awesome.
Like you're super excited
great.
about that.
Yeah, that, you know, if we're going to put the flag in the ground of one thing, I mean, that's definitely one thing that we've seen a lot of really awesome changes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you for having the brain that you have and for developing all of this.
At least it works out for people.
I think it does. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.